What does a man need? Beautiful stuff. The flavours of summer. Lovely smoky flavour. Like that. Fantastic. Straight into the fridge. Keep an eye on it. Certainly going to be tasty. As you know, I'm a pretty keen barbecuer, but I am not in the same league as Bob Hart. He is passionate about stuff, and today we're going to have a look at his masterclass, which is a forerunner to his wonderful festival. Now, what's the festival called, Bob?
The Australian Barbecue Academy, Ian.
See, I knew that, the Australian Barbecue Academy, which is coming up soon. And he's in the background. It's all right. I am talking to someone. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. You're going to get lovely charcoal scars from that.
Oh, thanks very much.
My pleasure.
You go off some people. The dog's here. Everybody's here.
Well, he's the right colour. He's the same colour as the charcoal, just in case he rolls in.
Yeah. So what are you doing now? What's
what
this
we're
one?
about to do, this is a big green egg. This is a version of a Japanese barbecue called a kamado. And that thing weighs an absolute ton. It holds heat magnificently, stays moist, and all you do is fire it up with some briquettes and put some wet chips on it, and it works miracles. In fact, if you just excuse me for a minute, I'm going to have to pour some on because it's ready. And I think it's upsetting the dog. So we're going to pour some of this in here.
The dog doesn't look very upset, Bob.
Yeah, he doesn't upset easily. He is a whippet. He only gets upset if you're faster than he is.
All right, so that just goes in there, and you put the grid on top.
Grid on top. And then, at the appropriate moment, we'll put some wet hickory on that.
Right.
And clouds of smoke will rise. They will do miraculous things to a beer butt chicken. Yeah. Until you've had a hickory smoked beer butt chicken, you really haven't had a beer butt chicken. Makes all the difference.
I reckon mine's pretty darn good.
I think it's pretty good, but it can be even better.
Some people may say this is an obsession, because we'll have a look at the barbecues around here.
Absolutely. Well, they start down here. This was my first. This is about 20 years old. This is an old Weber Performer. They don't even make them quite like this anymore. But it's basically a Weber kettle with a table and a little gas tank which lights the charcoal. It's not a gas barbecue.
Oh, right.
It's gas assisted. That fires up the charcoal. So at the moment I'm using it to light charcoal for the other barbecues. But as things progressed, I moved on to this one here, which I absolutely love. This is a Weber Smoky Mountain, and this one has fire at the bottom, a water tank above that, or a water bowl that keeps everything moist and keeps the heat well moderated, and then two smoking racks. So it holds a temperature. As you can see, that's running now with a full load of charcoal at, in our money, about 100 degrees.
Yep.
And that's about perfect. So once you chuck the wet chunks in there, that will smoke for about 3 or 4 hours. So I do ribs in that.
Yep.
Then this one you're familiar with.
Yes, I use this all the time.
This is your basic heat beads grill, which is one of the best grills for raw grilling on the market. And we'll do some duck breasts on that later, which will be absolutely wonderful. Terrific. Then we're back, of course, to the big green egg.
But
this one over here is a monster. This is a Texas smoker. Now, we're not firing this up today because it's a 9 or 10 hours cooking process. Oh, yeah. So we're going to save that for the Academy. But what you do with this one is you light a roaring fire in here, and once the fire is roaring, you load it up with hickory, and it pulls right through here. You put your meat over the trays here, and it pulls the smoke right through and out the chimney. So it's a thing in which you put a brisket or a shoulder of pork and cook it for 9, 10, 11 hours. And it's absolutely wonderful. It gets the most intense smoke flavour, and it's a very gentle way of cooking. Also, it cooks the fat out.
Yeah, because the Americans have a thing. They say what we call barbecuing is actually grilling.
That's right.
And this is what
this is what they call the product of this thing is what they call barbecue, and that means slow cooked pork.
Was that a Peter Sellers accent?
No, that wasn't Peter. It was a little bit Peter Sellers-ish.
All right, mate. Now, would people say you had an obsession here, son?
No, not at all, not at all. But I know it's a bit of a concern in summer as there are clouds of smoke over Hawthorne. It does happen. There are gas barbecues we use too.
All right, I'll have a look at that in a minute. But may I also say, the minute the cameras go on, they start building next door. Happens every time, so we're just going to have to put up with it.
I think they wait for it.
All right, let's have a look at these couple. Now, I, of course, got one of these little cues, which I love.
They are fantastic. That has very strange things going on inside of it, Ian. I wouldn't like you to think you were up to anything peculiar in this neighbourhood, but...
I'm quite intrigued what that is, but I'm not going to ask.
I've been baking apples there, and I always make little halos of foil to rest the apples on. Yeah.
Now, this is a big...
This is a ripper. Yeah. This is my favourite of the gas barbecues. This is a beauty. This is a Weber Genesis, and it's very controllable. You've got 3 burners.
Yep.
So if you fire up the whole thing, get the heat up, and then knock off the middle burner, you can cook in direct. Put something in the middle, and that's beautiful. But otherwise, it's the most wonderfully controllable heat source. I just love it. And of course, always cook with the top down. Yeah, Some people forget.
Yeah, I need one of these. Mr. Moon would love carting this all around Australia.
I think so.
He would be very happy.
He could just get it on wheels. He could tow it.
No, put it on his back.
Like a rickshaw.
On his back, yes.
It's a wonderful barbecue.
Yeah, no, I need one of those.
You do?
I just don't have a big enough backyard.
Well,
anyway...
You're lucky the Weber man's here somewhere. I think he just disappeared.
Yeah, last seen running down the road. Now, just one little thing. How do you light the heat beads?
That's
the important thing.
There are a number of ways of doing it. I've shown you the cheats way of putting them on the gas.
Yep.
But what I like to use is one of these cylinders, and you'll see this blazing away at the moment in that form. Those are already burning. I simply take one of these, I roll up sheets of newspaper into rolls like halos, and stick a couple of those in the bottom, put it on one of those pedestals, and fill it up with heat beads, and then light the paper. And that's all it takes. Now, I know that some people will tell you to use fire starters and things like that. I just have a bit of a thing about fire starters or anything chemical that burns. I don't particularly like them. I know they're natural and all those sort of things, but it's probably my imagination, but I swear I can taste them sometimes.
Bob has fed me extremely well today. We've had lamb chops, we've had ribs, we've had beer can chicken, we've had asparagus, corn. Don't miss anything out. Lamb cutlets.
That's all I can remember.
Yeah, just a little light lunch.
We've had a little Christmas duck as well.
Fantastic. Now, just one thing, Bob, though.
Yes.
Your academy, which you have plugged on the show before, we're going to give another plug because you've changed the date.
Yes, it's now December 5 to 8.
Right.
And it's at Balgownie Estate. And if anyone goes to AustralianBarbecueAcademy.com, the website, all will be revealed, and it's going to be a lot more fun. We've had a great time today, but we're doing, if you can imagine it, 3 times as much in the course of 3 days. 3 times as many dishes anyway.
Anyway, if you really do want to learn about barbecuing, this is the king.